pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do the roll call. Dan?
Present.
Carolyn? Tom?
Here.
Bob?
Here.
Rod?
Here. Comments from the visitors?
Just a question, who's the gentleman on the right? Dan,
Dan Gatto is the new supervisor.
oh, okay, thank you.
So there's no comments from the visitors? The motion to approve the previous board's minutes for August 15th.
We approve the August 15th, 2022 minutes.
Which one? August 15th. I'll second that. Any discussion on that? There is none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Nay? Minutes approved. Approval of town board meeting minutes for September 6th.
I'll make a motion to accept the September 6th, 2022 board meeting minutes.
I'll second it. Any discussion on those minutes? Since there is none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, nay. Minutes approved. Reports, plan commission, Dorothy Olson.
Well, you've got a copy of our unapproved minutes. We did pass for the Sebastian property, which is down at the corner of 97 and Galvin. Again, it's recommendation to the town board, but what was also added to that is, and I did question at the county level if that property had gotten missed when all the substandard parcels were approved for re-entry into the township as general ag. And I haven't heard anything back from Lori, so that's up to you as a board to find out if that had gotten missed. Otherwise, it's a $600 fee to get it changed from farmland preservation to general ag or rural residential.
You're talking about the Sebastian property? Dorothy,
Pardon?
you're referring to the Sebastian property?
Yep.
Is that this survey?
It's a little triangle piece down there. It's,
Yeah, so Scott Shaner's property's on the corner, and this shows his property as part of that. Am I looking at that wrong?
It would be across the street.
This is on the south side?
it's down, it's triangle right above
Okay,
the,
so it's the opposite corner.
yeah, opposite side, right.
Okay.
Yeah, and, well, Bruce and I, we stopped in there, it looks like they're going to tear down the old house in there. It's not, nothing has been said about it going into the city. All they are is they're going to divide up, what is it, like 7 acres, and they're going to divide it into 4.
So he didn't lose any of his property with the
Pardon?
widening? He didn't lose any property with widening of 97, like Scott did? Because
Not
Scott
that-
lost,
Not that we're aware of. I'm sure he probably did, but the fact is that it was already substandard for being in farmland preservation. It wasn't 35 acres to start with. So,
it's probably why it wasn't on our radar when we rezoned that.
Well, and when I talked to Lori up at the county, she said there's been a few that have shown up after the fact. So again, it's up to them and you as a board to see, you know, if we can save the gentleman some money. I mean, I'm all for saving anybody from the township some money. Legally.
So he's breaking out lot 2 from lot 1,
Yeah, yep.
so it's essentially 17.7
Now,
acres.
now, do you have that resolution on your agenda? Mm-hmm. Any zone? But the, the resolution? Okay.
You got that land, like, road, this is your first. So I'm in the, maybe a month ago, and asked him about that. Because he was talking about this. He didn't know anything about losing land, so maybe that was all.
Yeah, that was done a year ago.
And he, the last few years about this, so I don't think that would have been.
Any other questions for Dorothy? Okay. Garbage and recycling, Bob?
I'm sure everybody's excited to hear about garbage and recycling. Not a lot going on, other than just a handful of garbage cans that got damaged, had to be replaced. There were 3 people that requested second recycle containers, and then new home on Dragonfly that was completed, that the resident was requesting garbage and recycle containers. And I did get a message back from Dale today that they were to be delivered today.
Oh, okay.
So you had emailed me saying that the resident had emailed you saying he hadn't got it yet.
Yeah. Hopefully they came.
It takes 5 to 10 days.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
what I
got
wanted.
it, you should have got them today.
Okay, great, thanks.
And then there is a recycle board meeting on the 28th of September. Did you get an email from Deb at the recycle board?
Carolyn got it, for some reason, passed it on to me, but I don't know how to obtain that number, do you?
It's on the bill.
Oh, okay,
So if you go to the waste management bill,
yeah, so I can,
there's a household count
okay.
on the bill. It's usually 770 or
Yeah,
772.
773, I think, this time.
Yeah, that's the number they need.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. The library and the website will be yours, Dan?
Well, the library will. The website, that's John's. But I'll report on it from John, right? Or.
Sure.
And the newsletter was in that too, that's all that.
Okay.
Let's see, so we got approved for our townofmcmillan.gov domain name. So I'm working with our IT contractor to make the transition there. So we'll be getting, either clerk or town clerk, I think probably just clerk at townofmcmillan.gov with the email address. It's not live yet, so I'll let people know. I'll have to try and advertise that a little bit. And then once that does go live, then I'll be monitoring the current email boxes to make sure that nothing gets missed. And then I think that it's probably wise to get chairman, garbage, library, buildings and grounds, and highway supervisor email addresses also. The reason for that is then there's some continuity and
Regardless of who's in the position.
right, and to comply with open records laws, because town email accounts and addresses are town property. They're, you know, that's how that works, is my understanding. So I think it's going to be probably about $10 per user per month is the cost, and that includes, we're going to be going with Microsoft 365 for the email provider, One of the reasons being that we can, it'll automatically back up to the cloud all of the stuff, like when I'm logged in as clerk at townmcmillan.gov, it'll back that stuff up. And then, the IT guy recommended getting a secondary backup solution, which is like a third party, because, so at my day job, my boss had her email address compromised, so there was somebody that was actively in her email box, sending emails and deleting and manipulating stuff. So that person actually had the ability to go in and delete all of our company files or download them, sort them all fine, and then delete all the ones on the cloud that we had no files in, they could like ransom them to us. So luckily they didn't do that much. But if we have this third party thing, then we don't even have to worry about it. It's not really a big concern, because we can say, take off, you bad guy, we've got backups that we'll just back up off of. And it's good for, it archives the emails that this backup would be attached to. So like, you know, it'll archive the clerk ones and treasurer and whatever. And the $10 is comprised of, it's like $7 for the Microsoft license, and then like $3 or $4 for the backup situation. So, you know, once I get more concrete numbers, I can report back on that. But we're moving forward with that, so there'll be more updates coming this fall.
And then I also, let the, city march, there's a meeting, this Thursday at 4:30, and I sent an email to the board there to let them know that I'll be the new town of McMillan representative.
Carolyn's not back yet from her meeting in Wausau, so we'll move on. Highways, Tom?
This month, we had a couple permits for culverts on East McMillan. One was for a new culvert, one was for an extension. I received a call from Jeff Hill on his subdivision. He said that he was ready, his road was ready to be engineered so that he could get the okay for blacktop. I contacted the engineer, Jim Wendels, from Quest Engineering, and he is setting up a schedule with himself and his team to come over and do the core drillings. I have, as of tonight, I have not heard back from him on the date on that. I have been in contact with Jeff also on this situation, and I told him as soon as I find out, I'll let him know. I received some prices for Winterberry for the blacktop patching. It came back a little bit higher than what I was expecting, so we are going to bid this out. So we're in the process of that. I did send another email to the DNR to request any and all information I previously asked for. I still have not heard back from them. Again, this is something that the last time before they actually contacted me was months, but after he did contact me again, I think it was on his list. So it's just a waiting game, I'm guessing.
What's that in regards to?
The lowlands, basically regarding the lowlands, I asked for like grasses and plants and stuff we can put in. I asked, he said at the time I met with him this last spring that the DNR is actually doing a program for areas like we have east of E. And I asked for any information he could give me on that, if he had any updates at all. And I have not received any.
West of me.
Yep, correct, west of E, got it.
Hear what we mean, not what we say.
I figured he meant west. I was gonna say east, that's my side of the road, I don't know.
Thank you. I did go down this last week and meet with Adam Panhoff from Associated Bank in regards to man. We've been kind of at a standstill because there's quite a bit of information I need to get, and with the lack of treasurer, I could not get this information, and or I did not feel good with the information we had. So I do have the list of things that we need to go forward with this. And this week, hopefully, I can sit down with the treasurer and John and go through this list.
Talking about the financing for the grant?
No,
Financing to do the
no,
road?
this would be financing for the entire road. So the grant we got was a 50-50, basically. It was, we were hoping for the 200,000, we ended up getting 600,000, okay? We had to come up with 600,000 to do the first mile. That's what the grant came back as. We were hoping it was gonna be 200,000 to do that.
Our part.
Our part, yes. So, I went out and got prices after we got that back, and priced out doing the 2 miles, not as aggressive as a rebuild, and it came in at like $750 to do the whole 2 miles. So what I was looking at is seeing what we can do for financing, see what we can come up with and put a plan in place so that we can do the entire 2 miles for pretty close to the same price as we were gonna do just the first mile. So that's what this information is for. I talked to Gene recently and asked him if he was still interested in coming back for snow plowing this year. And he said, as it stands right now, he's planning on coming back. He says he is in the backhoe right now, swinging dirt, and he feels pretty good. And without seeing anything to take him away from that, he's planning on coming back. I said, that's great. And he just asked if we could sit down and talk, and I said, within the next week or two, let's just make an appointment, and we'll sit down and talk and see what's on his mind. And that's what I have.
Were you able to talk about the grant that we had received? Was it able to be changed at all?
I have not checked on that. Again, I know that when we were doing the grant process, it was pretty specific, the outline, what you outlined you're gonna do. And I'm feeling that no, it's not going to, but I did not check to see if we could use any of those funds for the same road or the project that we're looking at. But that, I will check into that, yes.
Okay. Fire department have?
Alright, for calls, we've had 1 EMS call, 2 motor vehicle accidents. We have a new member, Tyler Mueller, who joined the department and on his 1-year probation. Josh Alexander has completed his 1-year probation and now is a full-time member. Training for our month, this month is driver's training. Lori is currently working on the firehouse sub-grant. The project is for a battery-operated cutter and spreader for vehicle electrification. EMS group is currently working on their EMT refreshers. Public education, September is Suicide Prevention Month. Please see our Facebook page for more information. We had a successful Fall Fest, and thank you to everybody who supported the fire department. That's all I have.
Any ideas on the Fall Fest is?
Not yet, it's too early to tell.
So question, we had approved getting them condemned fixed.
Yep,
The status on that.
that should be going next week or so. They're getting all the parts in now. He called me last week saying that they were doing inventory, make sure they have everything, and then we're gonna schedule a date and time at the end of the month.
Anything else for Adam? Okay. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
This is open to the report, since we're still in reports.
Okay,
We just
good.
skipped over it.
Sorry, I'm late. Well, now, did you run off in here?
Yep.
So I can, okay, no. There are 16 pavilion rentals completed. We still have 3 and they keep adding more. Now that we know there's heat in the pavilion, we now have reservations into December. So that's a great thing. Inquiries for next year, I already have 3 or 4 weddings on the docket here. So anyway, the air conditioner is finally fixed. There was a leak, and the guy, we had them out several times, and finally, one of our residents in town had rented the pavilion, and of course the air conditioner wasn't working, so he contacted another contractor, brought him in, and had him give a second opinion, and then he paid for that. And so, but they did find the leak, and now the original installer did do the repair, and it was all under warranty, so we're good to go again. The ballpark is in beautiful shape. Ron Durfus had worked on it and had volunteered his time. And Mitch Westland was the resident who was instrumental in getting a second opinion. So we appreciate his help in getting the problem solved. And I guess that's it.
Moving on to unfinished business. John?
Sure, so, let's see. I received notice that Associated Bank, the Festival Branch is closing on November 18th, 2022. So they'll just move the people downtown. We received the WISLR packet that's requested to be back by October 14th, 2022. If I recall correctly, the actual deadline was December 15th, 2022, but I know if I was giving out packets and requesting them back early, I'd like them back early. So I gave that to Tom, and him and Pat are working on that currently. The petition for the bridge or culvert aid is due back to the county on October 1. So if you have any stuff for that, Tom, let me know and I can send that in. Let's see, we received 3 building permits from the county. Winslow on 97, Schumacher on Deer Run, and Bowman on Winterberry. And then 2 sanitary permits were received. Hocking on Dragonfly and Rizkala Class on County Road E. The Sea Haver rezone was approved by Marathon County. And that's all I had for the
John,
correspondence.
did you by chance get an email from the bank on taxes at all?
No.
Okay, so, I'll follow up on this, but I had talked to them maybe a month and a half ago, or 2 months ago, about the possibility of people dropping their taxes at the bank. There's a process that they would help us out with this. So I asked them about it, and then when I went in last week and asked them about this information, they had told me that they were closing that branch down. So I didn't know if I should follow up on it or not, because now it's gonna be across town. It won't be as convenient as this, or not. I don't know. It was just a thought. And
I can send an email out and see if they can give me that I can report back to you guys,
Okay.
what they need, if there's costs and stuff. Because if there's no cost, maybe it's convenient for a handful of people and that's still convenient,
Okay.
so.
I have that email for, his name is Chad Curtis at the main branch.
Oh, okay,
Is the one that I was talking to.
okay. The next thing on my report is the checks to approve. So I think there was a couple of, I guess I must have taken that out, a couple of pavilion event rental returns, all the $100 ones with these, so Barbara Winslow, Hannah Westerland, John Schiller, Karen Reinfresh is a reissue, so I had to avoid that check. My process for reissuing checks is immediately prior to reissuing the check, I log on to the bank to make sure that I search the prior number and the after number. So there's there should be 3 checks, if they've cleared, there should be 3 checks showing. And then I print that off in my records to attach with the reissue. So Karen's is a reissue. Lori Rowe, Olivia Anderson, and that's it. You'll also see there's a number of void checks. So I voided checks 19055 through 19058. Somehow I accidentally put in the wrong number for the beginning check number. So that kind of spoiled those checks. And then I voided 19086 through 19098. The last time that I printed checks, so on 9/10 I printed a bunch of checks, and I printed a couple checks on 9/11. But prior to printing those checks, the checks were still in there, so like I accidentally printed out some check stock. So I have those here that you can review. And then there's a couple of electronic payments. So the Frontier Communications and Marshfield Utilities were paid through ACH, and then the e-pay are all the tax payments for the IRS and the state of Wisconsin.
I have a question. John,
Sure.
were any of the Treasury or Wisconsin Department of Revenue, any of those penalties or no?
They were not penalties. Those are all,
Okay.
like I said, I issued the payment immediately after the payroll was done. I don't see any benefit in waiting, so I just send it out.
Have we got no letter yet on the previous?
No, I haven't received any. If I receive any notification, it'll be in the notifications and correspondence section.
You want a motion to approve the checks as presented?
Yes.
Do I need numbers 19040 with the void of 4 of them in the middle there through, oh boy, this
So you want the
911,
the 19012 would be the check number. Those other ones are just they're like manual check numbers, so that I would consider them more adjusting journal entry numbers.
Okay.
I would just like
whatever you want.
yeah. So I would request the motion to approve checks number 19040 through 19102, and then.
190. Oh, see.
8
Yeah.
electronic payments.
Try that again.
Okay, so,
Can you do it?
yes. I wasn't following all
I'd like
of it
to
here.
approve the checks 19040 through 19102, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 electronic payments.
I'll second it.
A motion to approve the checks and the 8 electronic payments. Any further discussion?
So the 660 resource recovery,
That's for mulch.
what's the quick print 628? Well, after
I'm pretty sure that's newsletter. I can double check.
newsletter,
Which one now?
the quick print 628 newsletter.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, newsletter.
Do we get an itemized bill on the fireworks so we see what we bought?
Yes.
We do.
Yep, I've got it in here. It's this Spielbauer fireworks 45.
Can I see it?
Sure.
Paul Bluegar, I'm assuming that's road-based material?
Yes.
City door for 662, what's that for?
The overhead door, one of the cables broke off. No, overhead door, highway.
This is Tosh Enterprises.
Shirts for the Fall Fest, charge to the Fall Fest expense account.
I don't remember, did we get a summary of expenses?
Absolutely, get all expenses, all income on everything, it's all itemized, but it takes a while, a month or so. Try to get it out by next month, if we get everything in. But it's very detailed, it has to be.
Any other? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, nay. Checks approved.
So the next couple of pages are the budget to actual through August 22, the end of August 22. So I kind of looked through it, I think we're in pretty good shape overall. I feel like a lot of the categories are under budget, so that's kind of where we want to be. You'll see the column that says dollar over budget. If there's a negative there, that means that we're under budget, so that's good news.
So I mean, the road job that we had planned for this year,
Which road job? The winter?
Well, I thought we had some money that we were gonna try to do some work on Main this year.
It was winter.
Winterberry?
Yes.
Not Main.
Not man. No, man was all under that grant. And that's what the asphalt is for, is the patch in there.
We're gonna get that done up this year.
Sure hope so. I don't know. Took me 3 weeks to get started with asphalt. It's just that time of year.
That doesn't matter. It's taking us months to get quotes. So what's next?
Budget actual, no. Do that then? Okay. John?
Yeah, so the next item is, I'm requesting a motion to move funds from Fall Fest account to the general fund to pay for Fall Fest expenses from July 1st to date. So you can see in the packet, there's been $13,290.30 of expenses, Fall Fest expenses, that have had checks issued. The Fall Fest account is in the checking account, so the checks come out of the general checking, so we need to backfill that with Fall Fest money. And then as far as other transfers. I logged onto the bank, earlier and, there's like $140,000 in there currently in general checking. We received the August, settlement from Marathon County in early August. So I don't think that there's a need to, I know that there's not a need to transfer any money from the tax savings into there. We've got enough to cover all the checks that were just approved and also, to cover the payroll for this month. So I mean, I suppose you could move some to tax savings if you wanted to, but you'll just have to move back next month anyways. I don't know if it's necessary. And if you wanted to, you could table this, Fall Fest account situation and then just do it once we get the full report from Fall Fest, once all of that dust settles.
I personally would prefer to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know, it must have been in July, but I know we went through this in detail about how much to transfer to cover the expenses, and we bumped that just a little bit with the anticipation of Fall Fest.
Mhm. So
So,
if that's the case, then I would prefer to have a motion to table, just for the minutes.
Okay.
I make a move that we table the Fall Fest,
Reconciliation or whatever.
the need for general funds to be moved to cover Fall Fest expenses, table that to the next meeting, till we have a reconciliation of expenses.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Since there is none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, nay. Postpone until next month.
The next thing I have is, I'd like to apply for the Associated Bank credit card that I have. There's 3 pages in there. It's just your general, regular old checking or credit card. The reason, kind of the impetus for this is our current credit card is a First State Bank credit card. We don't work with them anymore. And the ease with which I was able to get the credit card put into my name and they offered to send it to whatever address I wanted to. I didn't like that. I feel like there's a security risk there. I did it all through email. I do believe, if I'm remembering right, I was using the town clerk email address, but still, it just seems a bit loose on the security, in my opinion. So I found this one at Associated Bank. I know Adam Panoff personally, and I was in there one day making a deposit, and he was a personal deposit, or for my day job. But we were talking about town stuff, and I said, or he said, or I said that I wanted to seek this credit card, and he said that we had previously applied for a credit card with Associated Bank, but we got denied. We didn't have enough credit. So that's a potential risk. But I said, well, we've had this credit card now for a while. I feel like there's probably some credit there. He said, so I didn't want it to be on my personal credit, not because I have poor credit, but my credit's actually really good, but I like to get the credit card bonuses and stuff. So I use my credit frequently, so I don't need extra credit pulls on my account, or extra credit cards listed on my account. So he said that my social security number would have to be submitted with the application. If it's gonna be in my name, whoever's name it is, they have to submit their social security number for the Patriot Act. I told him that I'm comfortable with that. I don't mind giving him my social security number, but he said to do it, then be no credit pull. So about this credit card, the things that I like is there's no annual fee, which is awesome. There's standard 1% cash back and 3% cash back on some stuff that we probably won't use. So like gas stations, cell phone providers, office supply stores, and dining and food takeout. So we probably won't get the cash back on the 3% side, but 1% is pretty decent. Another thing that I like is there's a $100 annual software credit. So the $10 per user per month fee that I was talking about for the emails, I imagine that this would go to that. So we would get $100 of free stuff off of that. If not, so I know that we we have a license for QuickBooks. I need to contact them. Our license doesn't expire or potentially expire until May, so I have some time, but I need to contact them to get a full understanding of what our license is, if it's an annual thing, whatever. I do know that there's a monthly cost for payroll, so like, I imagine that should go under this $100 too. So the $100 should be used up, but still helpful. And there's not really anything that I don't like about it. I mean, it's a fine card. The low bonuses, you know, I mean, my standard card is a 2% cash back, so, but this was, I felt like this was a pretty good one.
I'd like you to go over that again, what you were saying about your name on the credit card?
Yeah, so if you see this credit card, it says John Cokel, Town of McMillan. So it'll be the town's credit card, but I think an actual person's name.
You'll be the one that's,
A person's name has to be on the credit card, is my understanding.
okay.
Like I said, I don't really want it on, you know, if somebody else wants it, it's fine by me, but.
Well, it was already voted on by the board previously that any charges go through the clerk. That's why they put it in the clerk's name. So you're stuck with it, John.
So this process is pretty common then? This is the way they, I mean, your social security number too then?
Yeah,
Your-
yeah, at my day job, I had my boss, we have a Chase credit card, and she had to give her social security number
Okay,
over to Chase,
and you're good with that?
yeah, I'm fine with it. Obviously, like, if for when I would leave, I would immediately terminate it, I would say, you know, or something, we would have to figure out some sort of transition plan, you know. But, you know, I don't believe that it attaches any, like, personal liability to me or anything, so I'm cool with it.
Okay,
So the plan would be to do this card and then cancel the other?
Yeah, I would do this card, and if we get approved, then cancel the First State one. And if we were to get denied, then, I mean, obviously I'm looking at the First State Bank, or the credit card statement and stuff all the time. So I would keep monitoring that, but, yeah, then I think that maybe we
So
just need to-
credit limit would be the concern, even if you got approved, you need to make sure that the credit limit is adequate to cover whatever we're using it for today.
Yeah, so I think that our current card is, if I remember right, $1,000. So I feel like that's kind of low, but,
Depends on what we're all paying with it. I mean, most
Not-
of it's
not much at all.
computer software licenses.
yeah.
No questions? I make a motion that John moves forward with applying for the Associated Bank Visa card. I would like to see $1,000 limit on it.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve, apply for the Associated Bank credit card with $1,000 limit. Any further discussion? Since there is none, all those in favor say aye.
bye.
Those against? Apply, John. Sebastian Reed zone? So the county just didn't get back to you on the $600, and whether that has to be done or not, or if there's anything that we can do as a board to,
I don't know how you're going to handle that, because like I said, I talked to the county and they don't know whether it was missed or what has happened.
If I just meet with Dorothy and see who she contacted, I'll follow up on this. I do know Don Sebastian personally, so I can follow up on this to see if, I can find out what's going on. If we can save him some money, we can save him some money. So,
Okay.
What's the issue?
You got missed in the comp plan when we readjusted for any properties that didn't meet the criteria for farmland preservation, and this one didn't
Oh,
before,
just, oh,
and it just didn't hit the radar.
So they will be, let's see, the ERC is having a public hearing scheduled for October 4th for this property.
October 4th. Who's having this?
The Marathon County Environmental Resource Committee or something?
environmental.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that I believe that they'll be requesting, I mean, and we can certainly say that we made no action on it, but I know that previously they'll, if the resolution is done, then it's still on the resolution.
So they were gonna charge him $600 because he wasn't included in the other group. Is that it?
They would, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, they should waive it if it was missed.
I would think they could,
I would think
I
so.
would think
and-
Lori
yeah,
would agree to
yeah.
that.
Give me a name, I'll make a
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
I also believe that, I asked you, Mrs. Opitz, about the joint plan and how this parcel falls into that, and I believe it doesn't fall into that agreement?
No.
Or does it? I mean, that's what
I don't know.
it doesn't fall into that, so
No,
it doesn't have to go in front of the joint plan
No.
before we make our,
right. Okay, so do we need to, are you going, you're just not gonna, what are you gonna do about the resolution then? Are you gonna wait until this is all, you find out for sure about the money, or what are we gonna do? What do we need to do at this point? We don't wanna hold it up if that needs to be done, or if it really doesn't matter, if it goes another month until we get this straightened out.
I guess the thing is, in my opinion, for what I see here for the resolution, it doesn't change anything for the board here.
Right.
So if we want to put a stipulation on it that, I mean, unless we're gonna goof them up out of $600, then not do it, but if it has no bearing on that, then, I mean, I would say approve it. I mean,
Yeah, well, and the plan commission approved it.
right, their recommendation is to approve it, and I don't see any reason not to.
You don't have a resolution in your hands, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, right here.
On your resolution, maybe you could just put a comment in there that, the town board
it'll be at
recommends
the
the
bottom.
possibility of
With
waiving the fee.
consideration.
Yes,
Due to the fact that we just did the
Right,
comp plan.
You just make a
this got
statement.
missed.
yeah, I
Okay.
put a note in there with that.
yeah. Okay. You wanna go over the questions, or are you satisfied with making a motion? Obviously, the plan commission did go through the questions, right? So that it meets that,
And we went and looked at the
Yes.
property.
okay, okay.
So on page 2, it's got, midway through the page, it says Town of McMillan recommends, and there's a box for approval and a box for disapproval. There's a big gap there, a person could just write in there, town board recommends the waiver of the $600 fee. Could write it right there.
Well, number 11, is there anything else the town wishes to present or comment on regarding the application? Number 11. So you can just, if you can get it, or just squeeze it in there someplace under that,
Yeah.
like you said, there's more space in that room, down there
Yeah.
under the approval, disapproval.
Yeah, you could do it.
Okay, so shall we make a motion here to approve it and with the stipulation that everything is, because it was missed at the time of the comprehensive plan, that there should, you know, we recommend that we do, that those charges be dropped.
Yeah, well, within 90 days until the contract was finalized, because that was just in June.
Was it June?
I think it was.
So, yeah. Okay. Do you want me to do it a little more officially, or have you got it?
No,
Okay, all right,
Good enough for
but,
me.
so we put on here approval,
And I'll second it.
okay?
Any further discussion on the Sebastian rezone and the resolution?
No.
If there is none, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain from the vote because he is a personal friend.
Oh,
Okay, anybody abstaining?
Aye.
Anybody
There you go.
against, say nay. Resolution approved. Next thing on the agenda is to schedule budget workshops.
Well, apparently we need workshops for the budget, so I don't know what I'm doing with the budget process, but I hope to learn more next week when I go to some
I
training
hope so too.
from the Wisconsin Town Association. But I think that it would be wise to get some, 1 or 2 days on the books so that we can all attend and learn together, or you guys can help me along. And I don't have any days to recommend. I think I'm pretty free most years. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 5 p.m.
Not that it's out of the question, I don't know if they're thinking weekends or not, but it's very hard for me right now to do weekends.
Oh, weekends are no good.
Okay.
For you, no good?
Correct.
Okay.
Normally we try weekdays,
Correct.
either 6 or 7, whatever.
But
takes
we need
you
to,
to work.
we need to get the budget, the current budget flush. That's the right word. We need to get it updated because we haven't had a treasurer, and that's a key part of building the budget for next year, is taking this year's budget and looking where we stand and where we can
Yes.
make adjustments to the budget. So we need that with some sense of accuracy.
Here. 7.
So I think until we have that, I don't know that we can schedule a budget meeting
Yes, I should have.
until we know we have something.
Okay.
So, do you have any idea on something like that that's generated?
That's the only time you.
I'm not sure what you're looking for other than where I presented. Like I can run that as a year-to-date through December and show, I mean, I can do that immediately, I can do that tomorrow.
I don't know.
John, we then normally did that once we tried to put the proposed budget, you know, everybody gets their numbers and gets them to you, and you have a proposed budget, and then you have the last 2 years also, what it was, so that you got something to compare it to,
Sure.
and then what they actually have went through. So you have about 4 columns.
Yeah, looks like this, but I wrote all over it.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Yeah,
I can give you this, but
okay. I think it's probably just like,
I want it back. So this has got 20, 21, and then our 2022, the 2022 column was the proposed, and then there was a difference.
Sure.
And I think the difference was comparing the budget for next year to this
Yeah,
year.
like what's the increase or decrease for
Yeah.
that?
So that's what we had, and I've got several copies of it
Yeah.
from the different iterations.
I would say that I could,
Okay, but you didn't need to sign
It's in Excel.
I could get this pretty quick.
Yeah,
It's in
Pretty
Excel,
obvious,
yeah.
I can get this.
with grid lines.
Mhm.
You can have that.
Okay, yeah, I can
Just
get
get
this,
back to me later.
I can get this, whatever, so I can work on this. You know, this week. If I wanted to.
There we
it.
go.
Yeah, it takes some, everybody will see it.
So the
Yeah.
reason that I
He
brought it up
signed
is,
it, you
I'm not
know,
sure, like I said, I've never been clerk, I'm still going to trainings and stuff. They didn't touch on budget stuff at the training that I went to for the, or if they did, it wasn't very, good for the last training that I went to. They talked a lot about alcohol licenses, elections, you know, other clerk stuff. This training that I'm going to, next Monday is an all-day session. I know that there's at least, I think there's 2 sessions about budgeting stuff. But I kind of think that you have to like work backwards to it, like there's a date that you have to have stuff submitted. And then like the budget hearings for the public that happens in the fire department and stuff. So you need to have like, you know, I would imagine we could probably not set any dates and then set dates in October, but we might have to have them pretty condensed, we might have to work pretty aggressively. So, you know, if that's what you wanna do, that's all right with me.
So your training's Monday?
Monday, 19th,
So I
yeah.
would suggest sometime after next Monday, so at least he has some training with them.
Is that the 19th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have any dates?
and that will be a very good one for you.
Yep, I think it'll be very interesting.
Friday.
Okay.
What kind of looking at maybe like the 27th, Tuesday?
What day?
27th, Tuesday?
What day is that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, we can start, I mean, unless you need time for your personal budgets, I mean, that's the next kind of thing.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. What time works the best for you guys to try to get done with work and they'll get here without rushing or?
6:37? Let's just put it at 7.
Okay.
What time?
7.
Repeat that date, please.
September 27th, 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Seems to me, I think the timing for this is that we meet like monthly to update it, if not more frequently if we need to, but then, what is it, December, we approve it?
Yeah, budget hearing and the people approve it first.
Right. When is
That's
that?
in November.
That's in November?
Yeah.
End of November?
Usually,
No, not that late.
no, it's usually the second week or so.
Okay.
And then everything has to be into the county, I believe by December 11th. So that they can do taxes.
Want another date to move in right away? Or you
It's
want?
up to you guys, I mean, I don't know how much notice you guys want for your, I mean, we can set another one on the 27th and see what we get done and.
Why don't we do that?
Okay.
Let's certainly get pretty far
So
out.
lot can happen in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Tom, you call for Winterberry Circle repair bids?
Yeah, so that was the blacktop bids I was talking about earlier. I got a price to patch in the 4 areas that we fixed over there, and the prices came back higher than I actually expected. So we're gonna put it out for bids, which, did that go out today? No? Okay. I thought it was supposed to go out
This will be
today.
the first time that I've issued any bids, so I'll need some help, like, I searched the email inbox or the email account, prior to the meeting, and I couldn't find any prior ones,
Okay,
so.
I will sit with you, and we'll get that out. We need to get that out as soon as we
Is
can.
it class 1 or 2?
I'm sorry?
What is the class 1 or 2?
That's
For the
B,
bids?
B?
B, so it's gotta be posted twice in the paper.
The state ordinances, for the state statutes is a class 1,
Yeah.
the town is a class 2, so,
Okay.
the town is more restrictive than the state requires us to be.
Mhm.
Published.
And is that once or twice you have to do it?
Twice.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And what was the price? That approximately? Or maybe you're not supposed to tell that, I don't know. I don't know, I don't know how that works, if you're gonna put it out there for bids.
I do have it. I don't know for sure.
I don't know.
If I'm doing bids, I probably shouldn't say anything.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Tom,
Yes.
so whatever price you got, where did that price come from?
American Asphalt,
Okay,
they come by and they gave me a price on what they could fix it for. And if it was under a certain amount, we could go ahead and do it, but it came over that amount.
okay.
So, and for the patches, I thought we would make that amount, but would be done. So,
Okay.
We need to vote on that, or we're putting it up for bids?
I believe we do. I think we do, because we're gonna go in the paper and ask for money, so.
Ask for quotes on
Well, eventually we will. I would ask that we could, get bids for Winterberry Circle, for the road repairs,
Asphalt only, or?
asphalt only. The bid will include edge cutting the areas that were patched and patching with blacktop. And I'll get a hold of you and I'll write it up and
Okay.
go over it.
And then also like their final grade too, I don't know if that's a separate piece that they put in there, but.
Yeah, that's actually in the writing, yes.
Okay.
It'll be
Is there one left or two?
one.
Or asphalt? Are you putting one layer on?
Right now we are.
And then,
Yep, what I'm,
So 2.5
it'd be 1.5 inch. What I'm thinking is, we personally did the repairs.
mhm,
I wanna make sure that it goes over winter, and we come back next spring and do that second patch.
okay,
I just wanna get it capped off for winter and make sure that everything holds.
good, sounds good.
Any further discussion on that motion?
I don't, who seconded?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Since there is no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Put her up for bids. Number 13 here, we have 2 people with their seats expiring, Dennis Frank and Carla Mangle. As voice that they've told me, if I'm still correct, Dennis, you're not interested in redoing your term, extending your term, or?
Right.
And I believe Carla has told someone else, she didn't tell me personally, but she is interested in continuing hers. Okay, And because we are out of sync of when these should normally be done, I did not look for anybody to replace Dennis because I don't know how long the term's going to be. And the reason for that is because we had some people that quit and then they did their full 3-year term instead of prorating their term. So do we prorate the next one to get us back into the sync of being in April when it should be? Or are we just staying with 3-year terms and they're just in an oddball time? And that's why I haven't contacted anyone yet to fill Dennis's, and I didn't receive anything from Dennis in writing, so he still had a chance to change his mind.
Well, you should,
So right now, the out of sync is, what's that affecting?
Well, instead of in April or in the May meeting,
Yep.
taking care of all of the appointments for all of the terms of things that come up, we're now doing it in September.
so Dennis's term is now were you appointed now at this time?
Well, I was appointed in August, but I started my term in September.
Yeah, okay. But normally, the appointments are all made in April, is what you're
It's
saying.
staggered.
And so therefore, and you have 3 that are one year, and then whatever the next one is, you have to have 2, so 3 and 2. So that you're not having everybody, so you're not having everybody all done at once, is the idea.
So can we just ask whoever, to take the term till the 2 years and then whatever amount of time they're in there from now to April, so that they can get back on their schedule with everybody else?
The town ordinances says that there's 5 members, they get appointed to 3-year terms. 1 or 2 members are appointed each year at the first regularly scheduled board meeting in May. So,
You'd have 1 year, 2 1 year, and 2 the 3rd year. And they're all 3-year terms,
Correct.
so. Dennis and
What's
Carla
that saying,
filled
Yen?
in.
What's the ordinance saying, Yen?
that 5 members will be appointed to 3-year terms on a staggered basis. 1 or 2 members will be appointed each year at the first regularly scheduled May meeting for the board. So in my opinion, the way that I'm interpreting that is that the term ends in May. It doesn't, you can appoint them for 3 years, but the ordinance says that their term expires in May. I don't, and imagine, you can imagine the record-keeping nightmare that would, I mean, granted 5 people isn't a nightmare, but, if that.
Well, we had people walk out, that's why they would fill in, is what they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when,
I'm just trying to
so
get
when
back to
Dennis
what
was
the
appointed,
ordinance
is.
when
Yeah, what
Dennis
you're
was
supposed to be
appointed,
doing.
what does that
If you want,
bring?
I'll stay till May if it just makes it easier. I don't know, whatever, however you want to do it. I don't, do it either
And
way.
Carla then, too?
My understanding is that your term actually expired this past May.
Right, okay, so I'm over already, all right.
What I'm suggesting is that if there's a replacement for Dennis appointed, today,
Yeah.
next
Okay.
meeting, that they would serve until May 1st of 2025. But it would be 2.5 years versus the 3-year term that is stated in our thing, but then at least that gets them back onto this
Back,
regularly
yes, we
scheduled.
don't have all of a sudden
You know,
3
it's,
people.
it's,
Whose terms expire next May?
Bruce and
Bruce and
Dorothy.
mine.
Yeah, so we don't wanna have Carla's and Dennis's expiring then too. So it
Especially
sounds like
because
they
it
should have
says-
been
Well, see, they
re-upped.
Yeah.
It should have been this last year.
earlier.
Yeah.
So, okay, so,
May. You can make it
That's
retroactive,
why we think we do this, yes.
because I know.
so do what?
Do you need a motion?
Jeff Davis got missed for a year.
Reappoint and make it retro back to May.
Okay.
Yeah,
But Dennis doesn't, he's not,
Right.
around 2.5 more years, so we have to find somebody to fill that one.
well, we'll have to fill that one. Okay, so,
I will go out and find someone.
So
And by the way, I would like to, before we get too far down, we forget it, I'd like to thank Dennis for his time on the board. So,
You might
You're
want to
welcome.
reconsider
Thank you,
down
yes.
the road.
Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome.
So we need to do a motion on Carla just to make hers effective for the next 3 years.
we can do that?
I would make the motion to make it retroactive for both of them. Dennis can always resign anytime he wants and make it retroactive as of May.
That probably makes sense, because
Yeah.
if he doesn't really want to do it, we'll find somebody to replace him, and until then, he would serve.
When he resigns, then you find somebody else.
If you want my opinion, I would make a motion to appoint whoever for the balance of the current term. The current 3-year term, so then that's, because
That's from last May. They should have been appointed last May.
right, so the balance of
It
the,
isn't.
balance
So what
of
are
the
you
current,
recommending?
the balance of the current 3-year term, which would be 2.5 years or whatever. Because in my opinion, if you say we're gonna appoint these people retroactive, you know, if Dennis isn't gonna do it, and you appoint Steve or Tim or Bob or whoever, like, that puts them on the hook, you know, so
No,
then Dennis.
if he wants to resign, he could resign tomorrow, and then we just find some way to fill it.
No, I'm saying that if nothing happened with Dennis today, if you just reappoint Carla retroactively, and then, you know, at the next meeting, Mike is appointed to be the plan commissioner, retroactive to May, then,
No,
Yeah, not
he would not be retro to May, because he's filling a vacancy left by Dennis.
okay.
All we're saying is that officially Dennis's term expired in May, and he's been covering it since, so we're
Yeah.
just covering that, hey, we're
To
making
finish
him
that
retro to
term.
May, and if he wants to resign, we'll fill it.
Sure, okay, yeah,
That's all we're saying.
okay.
But if he doesn't want it, then we might as well not put him in that position right now, because then I can go out and find someone. Otherwise, I need a piece of paper from him saying that I resign.
Well,
So,
you
I
do
mean,
anyway.
You do,
Right.
because he's been serving without
Right.
the appointment.
And he might change his mind.
Okay, he's laughing kind of hard, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I make a motion that we appoint, or however you want to say this, Carla Manigal and Dennis Frank to the Plan Commission, retro from May for their 3-year term to May of 2025. And then if Dennis so chooses to resign, then we fill it with someone else. Complete the term to May of 2025. I said that right?
Yes, you did.
I think so.
You can do that tomorrow, Dennis, if you want to, but, you know, it's up to you, so it's kind of
Sleep
on
on
your
it.
plate now.
Okay.
Dennis, you're there for 3 years, deal with it.
Okay, I'll second it.
I have a motion, a second to, I'm just leaving it there at that.
John's got
For
it.
Dennis, yes, and for Dennis and Carla to be on the plan commission.
Okay,
All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Those against?
No.
Ayes have it. John? Number 14?
Yeah, so, to move into closed session, a motion would be in order in second, and then, we can go through a roll call vote to move into closed session.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session regarding personnel matters pursuant to Wisconsin statutes, state statutes 19.851C, to consider McMillan Town employee compensation.
I second that.
The motion is second to go into closed session.
Roll call vote, Dan?
Aye.
Carolyn?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
Are we leaving or are you?
Well, that's what I wondered. You don't, any of you look like you're moving very fast back.
But there's 15 of us and there's 5 of you.
We'll go in the other room.
So how long is this gonna take?
It may take a little bit, because we've got more than one.
Is a little bit, 10 minutes, a half hour? Oh,
I would say right in that area, yes. Well, yeah, I
10 minutes or a half hour?
10 minutes to a half hour.
Okay.
I can't imagine it'll take a half hour, but it'll take 10 minutes.
That's under budget.
Yeah.
Constantine, Keanu Reeves. You watched John Wick series? You have not watched John Wick? There's
People said that to me, and I just watched the first one like last year, or like 6 months ago. It's
Oh yeah.
it's a good
The
movie.
Boogeyman.
Oh yeah, it's a good movie.
That's what they call Keanu Reeves. He's in the mafia. He's a killer.
Okay.
And they call him Baba Yaga,
That's great.
which is Russian for the boogeyman.
Baba Yaga.
You know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah.
It's a good guy. Action.
People ask me if I'm back. I think I'm back. Somebody says that.
That's Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, yeah, and he turned 58 this week.
Looks pretty good. Well, that's what.
And he still rides the subway.
Oh really?
He rides the subway.
He's a decent.
Yeah.
He was kind of like Ron.
He's, you know, doing it, doing it.
Yeah. But he was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
We need to make a motion to reconvene
yeah, motion would be
into
to read.
open session.
I'll second that.
Opitz and Tom?
I have a motion to reconvene and go into open session. Any discussion? Since there is none, all those in favor say aye.
I think we should roll call,
Okay,
if you don't mind.
that's fine.
So, let's see, Dan,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Tom,
Here.
Bob,
Here.
Rod.
Here.
Okay. Do you want me to read the motions that were?
Please.
Okay. Motion number 1 is to, was regarding the treasurer. The motion is to pay the treasurer $17,784 annually and appoint her to a 3-year term retroactive to September 7th, 2022. So somebody will have to make that motion.
I'll make a motion to pay the treasurer $17,784. Is there some cents?
No.
And the term for 3 years,
Retroactive.
retroactive to
September.
September 7th, 2022.
I'll second the motion.
We might as well do roll call. That sounds
Okay.
wise. So Dan,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Bob, Rod.
Aye.
All right, the second issue was, Pat contacted the clerk about potential missing retirement contributions. The clerk reviewed the transactions for the retirement expense account as well as the checks issued to Capital Bank and Trust from the time period of January 1st, 2017 through August 31st, 2022. It was determined that retirement contributions were not made for the following 6-month periods: July 1, 2019 through December 31, 2019, July 1, 2020 through December 31, 2020, January 1, 2021 through June 30, 2021, July 1, 2021 through December 31, 2021, January 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2022. The total contributions not made based on previously agreed amount of $2 per regular hour worked in each 6-month period equals $10,097.46. So the motion was to issue retirement contributions on Pat's behalf in the amount of $10,097.46 to Capital Bank and Trust.
I would double check 19s, cause I thought we had paid that.
I did. It was paid the January 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2019 was paid.
Okay, so we paid the first half.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to, what you said, add the $10,097.46 to Pat's retirement fund, which is with
Capital Bank and Trust.
Capital Bank and Trust.
I'll second it.
Motion is second, we'll do a roll call
Yes. So Dan,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Tom,
vote. Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Rod.
Aye.
See, we haven't been paperwork in and you can't make it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
A motion to adjourn, and a second. Any further? Since there is none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? We're adjourned.
So here's, I don't know if you guys want to split up the duties or if you just want to send them down the line.
So he has to bring the bill in. Or whatever, pay it. If he didn't bring the bill in, then it was paid. That's what happened. He's like, I know, I asked the guy about it, and he said, he never brought a bill in, so nothing you can do then.
We do have some, these are some of the deposit stubs that I was given with the checks.
I can go.
I hate this thing. That's all I have.